What up, people? Welcome to episode 98 of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yes, indeed. I'm back for another week. I'm back for another episode as we do the slow crawl to official episode 100 of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Thank you, everyone, for making this podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to sometimes listen to when it's available. Yes, I know. For all my audio files out there, I have been neglecting to drop the audio side of this podcast. So does it really make it a podcast? That's a question. Yes, it still makes it a podcast because if you have YouTube music, you can listen. You can listen to the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. If you do not have YouTube music or YouTube Premium, then you can only see the exquisite vision, the vision of grandeur, the sultan of seduction, the maestro of manliness on your video screen, on your TV screen, on your smart screen, or any screen that you so desire. Yes. This week, I'm not going to lie, this week has been a tough week for me for various reasons. I'm not going to even really get into it in depth because I just don't feel like doing that, and it's not really my place. But yeah, this has been a trying week for multiple reasons. So usually when there's a trying week, I use one of my artistic outlets as a venting mechanism. And once again, the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph will be one of those outlets I use for a venting mechanism. Not only am I going to spew my salty thoughts, I am going to actually give you some news. Because over this past week, concerning my last episode, when I actually talked about my New York Metropolitans, in some corners of the world, in some corners of the city, in some corners of Brooklyn, in some corners of, dare I say, Bergen Beach, it was not appreciated. It was told to me that why do I choose when the Metropolitans are at their lowest to actually give them time and breathing space on my platform? It was reiterated time and time again that yes, this is my platform. Yes, this is my podcast. And I do what I want to. But the same energy that I'm giving them when they were down, I should have gave them that same energy when they were actually at one time had the best record in baseball. And I tend to agree. Not only that, he was like, listen, I love your podcast. I know it's not a Met-centric podcast. I know you delve into the Knicks. You definitely concentrate on the Jets during football season. And tell you the truth, I've been getting a constant dose, a constant spoonful of wrestling, and more wrestling. And you couldn't dig out 5 minutes per episode to give the kudos to the Amazings. But no. You wait until they're at their lowest, at their very lowest, to devote a full segment for the Metropolitans, for the Amazings. And you call yourself a fan. And when my response was, yeah, I call myself a fan. I've told y'all time and time again, I have been a New York Metropolitan fan since 1982, when it wasn't popular, right before we traded Tom Seaver again, when we had Dave Kingman, we had George Forster, we had, dare I say, Joe Torre was the manager, right before George Bamberger, right before the Renaissance began with Davy Johnson. Do I need to go on and on to prove my Met fandom? No, I do not. I remember the dusty, dirty barrels of State Stadium. I remember the Kevin McReynolds of it all. I remember the Mike Fitzgeralds, the Huey Brooks of it all. The Jesse Orozco's, yes. The Roger McDowell's, yes. But I remember everybody. So, I'm not saying I was guilted into it, but being the fact that I need to get some of this angst off, get some of this frustration off, which actually, if I wouldn't have started my new recording day, would have been much more, dare I say, acidic, acerbic, if you will, than it probably is going to be on this episode. But yes, this episode will be a metropolitan centric episode. And tell you the truth, if I was more prepared, as in time wise, I would give it a special phone call to said individual. If y'all haven't figured by now, it's Smitty for the group home in Bergen Beach. But I don't think his phone privileges are available at 5:06 p.m. Monday afternoon. He's on lockdown for 6 days. He has 1 day of some recreational time, if I do say so myself. I don't know if he's going to take care of errands. I don't know if he's going to enjoy some Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if he's going to go to Food Town, USA. Or, shoot, dare I say, some IHOP. But I'm going to let him off the leash this week. I'm going to let him off the hook this week. And I'm not going to give him that special phone call of, hello, this is Mike Steph from the Social Thoughts Mike Steph podcast. And you're speaking to Mike Steph, and you're currently on the air, live and in color. Because I've known my brother Smitty for over 20 years. Shoot, tell you the truth, 22 years to be exact. Yeah, about 21 and a half years, at the shoot job. So I'm not going to put him on the spot. Plus, tell you the truth, before the end of the baseball season, I would like to have Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach and Brother Zal both on the line. You've seen clips, you've seen pics, but you have yet to hear their point of view. Zal, he kind of errs on the pessimistic side of life, tell you the truth. If I'm not being too forward. But when it comes to the Mets, when it comes to the Jets, he is the definition of a miserable fan. Smitty, on the other hand, it's all sunshine and rainbows, roses, yellow stars and green diamonds, the whole nine, Lucky Charms. More like the Kool-Aid man busting through your door, busting through your wall. Just and literally, like in text, you can actually hear the good text. That's what makes Smitty such a special human being. But yeah, so I'll be talking about my Metropolitans this week, and something that I was going to talk about last week, but because of time restraints, I chose to forward to this week because this is a never-ending thing, and that is my gripes with New York City Transit. New York City transportation. Let's get that straight. New York City transportation. I touched on the city bike situation last week, and I would touch on the other aspect of transportation. Get that right. Transportation. So nobody can accuse me of slander. Nobody accuse me of talking down to a certain entity. Can't hold me liable. New York City transportation. But this time we're going to talk about the subways and the buses. Yes, not the service. Actually, not the service. but the inhabitants, the Cretans, that now, as going on 4 weeks of my car being unavailable, I have to co-inhabit with these charlatans. And it's probably why I've been battling a cold for the last week, because people are nasty. People are disgusting. Just I literally, no matter how many times I wash my hands, I can't get the stench off the unwashed masses off me. So yeah, I'll be talking about that this week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get the show on the road. Without further ado, good night and goodbye. Bang!
Salty thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music, mixed for living. Rep New York City, but hate the politicians. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the word of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world at what he does. Tap in.
The New York Mets, yes, my Metropolitans, clinging on to a 1-game lead for the third wild card spot in the National League playoff picture, are losers of 14 of 18 as of August 17th. Like I said in the intro, certain people wanted attention from Mike Steph, and y'all got it. Did I talk about them when they were doing good? Nah, not really. Y'all know the saying, no news is good news. Well, they have my focus now until the NFL regular season starts. I'm going to talk about the negative first, because negative brings me joy right now. It's more interesting. Juan Solo. You know what Juan Solo is? Juan Solo is like the Farebeaters that I'm going to talk about later on in the podcast. Stealing money without a mask. How many solo home runs has he hit out of his damn near 30? 24? 23? I don't know. Just wants his numbers, it seems like. Looks for a walk when we need a killer in the lineup. Do we have a killer in the lineup? Tell you the truth, I ain't gonna lie. This man right here has been doing the damn thing, but we'll get to him very, very soon. Now, the Mets have done something they haven't done in damn near a month. Yesterday, they won 2 in a row. Yes, I know, 2 in a row. So 14 out of those 18, they're 4-14 in our last 18 games. And they won 2 in a row for the first time since June 27th. And you know what June 27th marks? The end of their 7-game winning streak, immediately following the All-Star break. Yeah. So it's been almost a month. It's been about 3.5 weeks since we won 2 consecutive games. So we had a streak of 9, streak of 8, whatever. Don't matter. But you know who actually got us up the doldrums? Nolan McLean. Yes. That man that's on your screen right now. The number 37 prospect in the league, according to MLB.com. This past Saturday in Citi Field, before we made the sojourn down to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, He pitched 5 1/3 scoreless innings, in which he allowed 2 hits. He walked 4 with 8 strikeouts. The Mets pieced together the rest, which included the scarcely used, because this mother effer's been right arm has been collecting dust for last month because we haven't had a lead to use him. Edwin Diaz pitching 2 innings. Why not? Because shoot, got to get some work for his 24th save in 26 chances. That means he's only had 2 blown saves, and that was early in the year. McClain said immediately following, I couldn't have dreamed it up any better. From the fans to getting out there to being able to compete against this good Seattle team, he was desperate. He was definitely the shot in the arm that the Metropolitans needed. McClain, he relied mostly on his signature sweeper, but showed 6 pitches. Six, count them, 6. Averaging 95.5 miles per hour with his 4-seam fastball. So you would think that you got this rookie out there. I know you want to get him out the game with a lead, good taste in his mouth, so he could build upon that. But you would think with the fact that we haven't been able to get length or quality length out of our starters, that you would have tried to leave him in just a little bit longer to avoid using the overtaxed bullpen. You would have thought that, right? Well, guess what? You would have thought wrong. The sellout crowd booed manager Carlos Mendoza when he went to the mound to remove McLean in the 6th. Mendoza said afterward, I heard them loud and clear. If I was sitting in the stands, I would have been booing myself too. I completely understand. But I have a responsibility here. Number 1, to win games. But number 2 is when you're talking about one of our best major league prospects making his major league debut, we have a plan in place. Mendoza admitted McClain brought a certain energy, a certain je ne sais quoi, in Spanish form, to the team that was perhaps needed. I agree. They almost Jacob DeGrommed him, though, because out of all these offensive outbursts that we've had in the games preceding that, we struggled to put 3 runs on the board, but we did so, and we got the formula, get to the back end of the bullpen, and allow our dynamic closer to bring the game home. And that's what we did, at least for Saturday. Now, Sunday, the Mets were greeted at the airport in Williamsport by plenty of enthusiastic young fans and connected with teams from all over the world that were playing at the Little League World Series. Yes. On Sunday night, the Little League Classic was played, and Francisco Lindor had his 5th straight multi-hit game with 3 more hits. But Francisco Alvarez, though he had 3 hits in the game also, he was forced from the game after a right thumb injury in the 7th. Alvarez entered Sunday on a 6-for-16 tear with 4 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. He added 2 doubles and a single in this game before leaving the game, as the Mets won their 2nd straight for the first time in the month versus Seattle and won their 1st series for the first time in the month. It's funny. Everybody thought this would have been, this is the start of a difficult stretch. You figure we get swept by the Guardians at home. We lose, 2 out of 3 against Atlanta at home. So we're going against a very strong Seattle Mariner team that's really bearing down. And you would have thought this would have been a recipe for disaster, or this could have just been what we needed. We needed to go against a team that we knew we could not play any games with. Everybody's intention is heightened. Why do we need heightened attention? I don't know, but it's almost like for certain parts of the season, being the fact that we went on that streak, went on that stretch for almost a full, not full calendar year, but a full baseball calendar year, that we was playing the best in the league. It's almost like it was like a fait accompli. Like, we just need to get to the playoffs healthy, and we'll do what we did last year. We're not good enough to do that. Not yet, anyway. But 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. We go on the road. We play the Washington Nationals, who's always been a pain in the ass. And hopefully we can at least win that series. Go to Atlanta, even though they've won the series, the season series, win that series and set ourselves up for a potential division leading series against the division leading Philadelphia Phillies when we come back to Citi Field next week. That is the hope. That is the hope. But I don't know. It's like you had Mr. Met. He was out there. He was giving everybody some great vibes. Now, the reason I bring this picture up, Brother Zal sent this picture. And tell you the truth, I'm going to go against group chat etiquette once again in 1 minute.
You know what? You're right. I do have a problem with it because it's the fourth. April, May, June, July, August. It's the 5th month of the season. The Mets did well the first 2 months, and you started talking about the Mets in August. I mean, they did a very good job. Granted, they're not playing well, but you picked the right time to start talking about it. They had an amazing early 2 months, or whatever the case may be. And we heard nothing on Salty Talks will be going to Mets. All it was wrestling. Yeah, I was a little like taken aback for it, but it's your podcast. There was no acknowledgement that the team was red hot at all. And that's what I'm trying to say. That it's supposed to be a all-around sports podcast, and you talk nothing Metropolitans until August the 10th. Except for the Soto signing. They did the Soto signing, the Pete Alonso signing, and whatever the case may be. And then it was quiet. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And all of a sudden, August the 10th, Salty Thoughts decided to talk about the Mets and they spit the bed. Yeah, I'm a little taken aback from it.
I'm Mets fan, I could say right now. Expectation from starter to Mets fan or long-time Mets fan, I could say right now. Expectation from start of the season, that's the Mets. It's always the hot streak. You're like, oh, they're going to win it. Oh, we're going to make it to the World Series. We're going to take the pennant, da-da-da-da-da. A month down the line, they get cold. You're like, oh, these motherfuckers nothing new, always the same old Mets, whatever the hell you want to call them. Then they get hot again. then you're like, oh, well, yeah, they're gonna win it. They had the cold streak. Now they're gonna stay hot. They're gonna stay hot. Same bullshit, same team. No difference from, I would say, since 2009. I think 2010 that year was, we still had a decent one. With Wright, you know, Reyes and all that. The core, Floyd and all that kind of shit. But that was the last time. And the current Mets, I'm telling you, man, you keep signing these fucking waste of money players like Soto, waste of money. We could have gotten something else, fortified the team in other areas. No, let's give an arm, let's give everything to Soto, so we get, like I say, another Yoenis, you know, another Bond, not Bond, Bonilla. It's like a long-term contract that you're gonna have to eat it.
Yeah, correct. Every year it's been a roller coaster, but the roller coaster should have been mentioned at least 5 minutes out of the podcast, not on a weekly basis, maybe every couple of weeks. But we all know what the Mets do. But at the same time, you claim yourself to being a Met fan. You're Jets first. I understand that. You claim yourself being Jets, Mets, Knicks, or wherever. I forgot the order. It should have been mentioned at least, even though, yes, you're right, it's a roller coaster every year. And I still have faith in this team. I don't know about you guys. You probably don't. But I still have faith in this team. But it should have been mentioned. That's all I gotta say. I know it's a your podcast is a multitude of everything. It's sports, it's political and this and that. And I enjoy that. Except for you do wrestling, because wrestling's not my thing. You know that. But at least a little acknowledgement. Oh, Holmes was doing well the first 2 months. Now he stinks. And now we know no Holmes stinks now. But he did well the first couple of months. No announcement of Holmes. No announcement of Lindor and everybody else that was hot early in the year. There was no announcement. It was not even uttered. Which is fine. It's your podcast. As a, like I say with the Seinfeld bit. Now, is there anything wrong with that? If you're a Seinfeld fan, you know that line. But it's your podcast. Now,
Cohen, because hey, I give him props. At least he's willing to spend. But again, spending wisely, not, you get what I'm trying to say. We had the coupon that say the checkbook was open, but it was never really open. We had our opportunity, and I truthfully say we had our opportunity with Mike Piazza that era with Bobby V, Albayani, all those core players, and majority of them, like I say, hey, if you really think about it, that period of time, there was really no big name on our team. That it's the truth. We have players, but they weren't in their prime. It was the truth. You guys know that. We had an opportunity. Coupon didn't want to spend. We lost our chance right there. And then down the line right now, Cohen is willing to spend. But again, you're spending on one fucking player, Soto. Come on, give me a fucking break.
Well, I don't know, man. But it's a sports podcast. It should have been mentioned. Regardless of the situation, of the roller coaster that goes on every year and blah, 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 it should have been some type of acknowledgement. Now, I'm not asking for a play-by-play, a 3-hour baseball podcast in the middle of May. No, I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for, like, oh, Holmes was doing well. Oh, Lindor was doing well and stuff like that, but nothing was mentioned. It was like, okay, every week was wrestling. Okay, fine. Wrestling. Now, there's anything wrong with that. It's your podcast. And by the way, I'm a fan of Mike and the Mad Dog. And Mad Dog was on K's show.
Okay. That's that. We're going to veer too far into what do they say? How do you say vice versa? No, those are my bros. Only reason I'm divulging that because I know they probably won't have no problem with doing that, and actually might prefer just leaving little messages so I could just play instead of actually coming on the podcast. But hopefully before the end of the season, I will have those two individuals here, either in just audio form, or you can actually see their mugs. Yeah, I said it, their mugs on the screen in the third or something like that. So, see, you got 20 minutes of Mets talk out of me, and no slander, no slander. And I actually came on while they're on a winning streak. The Mets with 2 straight first series win in almost a month. See? Am I not a man of the people? Am I not the face of the faceless? Am I not the benevolent, the benevolent dude himself from Crown Heights? If I'm not, who now? Who better? Who better? Nada. Now, two more pressing issues in the city. I want to say this off top, like I said it in the intro. These salty thoughts on the New York City transportation situation are from a passenger point of view, for the most part. These are gripes, these are rants, these are thoughts, these are all of the above. So these cannot be misinterpreted or misconstrued as slander. If it's true, then it won't be slander, will it be? But like I said, I'm telling you from the point of view of where I'm speaking from. Those who know, know. Those who don't, I don't know what the hell to tell you. But I'm going to start this out like this. Matter of fact, most New Yorkers who ride the buses and the subways are decent, upstanding people. But over the years, they have become the minority. So that's not most. It's the few. The majority of New Yorkers, or matter of fact, the majority of people who ride New York transportation ain't shit. Nobody pays. Nobody pays on the train as this cocksucker jumping the turnstile on your screen is shown doing. On the bus, everybody goes to the back. Or, matter of fact, I would even respect that better. Go to the back. Sneak your little bum ass on the bus. But no, we have people nowadays, matter of fact, since I'm a latecomer to the situation, we have people that'll just mosey their ass on right in the front, look at the bus driver, and go about their seat. And the funny part is, they feel like they're in the right. They feel like they're in the right of doing so. They get on the bus, they walk right to their seat without paying, and the driver has to stop and let their trifling asses off. Think about that. Dude gets on the bus, for instance, right? Late night, okay. No attempt at a bullshit excuse. No attempt at, yo, my man, yo, big man, your brother man, yo, bro, yo, I'm fucked up. You think you can? No, they just get on like. And then what even makes it worse is 2 blocks later, ding, stop requested. If I'm the bus driver and I know this cocksucker just got on the bus, didn't pay me no mind, but yet I'm supposed to stop and let him off? Did he pay for that fucking service? Am I a concierge driver? Concierge drivers get paid. Concierge drivers get tips. I got jerked. But there, I drive past, then it's a problem. There, I make his ass pay. There, I say, you know what? Matter of fact, just for shits and giggles, yeah, I know you wanted to get it off at this stop. I'm going to let you off at the next stop. It's a problem. I'm going to be on TikTok. I'm going to be on Instagram. I'm going to be on Facebook. I'm going to be on the front page. There's a reason why the title of this episode, for those who didn't know, 35 minutes and counting into this episode, the title of this episode on the thumbnail, B.A.N's. And I know people are like, B.A.N's? That had nothing to do with the Mets. No, actually, this had nothing to do with the Mets. Do you know what a B.A.N is? Do you know what a B.A.N is? I'll tell you what a B.A.N is. And it's not what you think. A couple years ago, matter of fact, probably about 10 years ago now, summer 2015, I came out with a mixtape, The Death of Don C. And that was around this year. I'm not gonna lie, I took the concept because I was running with it. I believe that was the summer that Fabulous was coming out with the Friday night mixtapes, the Friday night freestyles. He was taking the throwbacks and going off. And I said, you know what? That nigga could do it. I could do it. And that's what I did. I think some of those freestyles are still my freestyles, not Fab. Some of those freestyles are still available on my SoundCloud page, on the old SoundCloud page of Don C. Yeah, Don C. Donnie Ooh, Don C, whatever, right? One of the songs he came out with, one of the things he remixed was Bitches Ain't Shit. But he didn't put that in the title. He said B.A.S. freestyle. Bitches ain't shit. So I said, you know what? I could do one better. B.A.N. Bitch ass niggas. But that's not what B.A.N. stands for in this instance. No. B.A.N. stands for this instance when I'm talking about these trifling mother effers that get on the train and get on the bus and just think they have a carte blanche into service. Bum ass niggas. Yes. Bunch of bum ass niggas. And don't get me wrong. Before y'all think it's a race thing, no. Don't matter what race, color, or creed you are. If you are doing what I'm going to spell out for, or what I have already established and described, you, my friend, are a bum ass nigga. You mean to tell me you don't want to get on the train for $2.90? $3? Let's say $3. $3. Like when I was growing up, we had the wooden turnstiles, right? Had the wooden doors, everything was wood. But it was instilled in me to pay my fare. And at that time, I think the fare was 75 cents. I think it went up to $1.25, but it was 75 cents when they're paid. I was little. My mom, once I got too big for her to mush my head underneath the turnstile so I could go under the turnstile. Once my head could hit the turnstile, guess what? She made a point. All right, I'm paying for my child. Right? So that was instilled in me like, look, this is a service. You want to use the service? You must pay. You must pay. And I tried to instill that to my children. When they got to a certain age, yeah, I could have very easily. But I said, you know what? We're gonna get this Metro card. And they felt so nice and grown when they was able to get the Metro card and actually swipe themselves in. And I felt the confidence, like, listen, I'm instilling a work ethic. I'm instilling some pride into my children. I made sure my children didn't grow up to be a bunch of bum-ass niggas. Because, tell you the truth, really trying to scheme and connive for $275, scheme and connive for $290 is some bum-ass nigga shit. Tell you the truth, I probably caught this cold that I've been having for the last week from some of y'all bum asses. No respect either. Get on the bus, bum ass nigga get on the train, or get on the bus, sit there. Not only didn't pay, but actually has the nerve to sit in the front seat and like have his phone playing some old school Jay-Z with the speaker. Your bum ass don't even got no AirPods. Headphones, earphones, etc. 4 stops. Ding. Walk off. And just say, yo, have a good one, bro. Disgusting. Look at her bum ass. Going in the back. Got a pocketbook and probably a shopping bag in her hand. Look at these bum asses. One just came from Jimmy Jazz. You see the bag. Piling on, pound in the back. Subways. Is there any reason that has gotten to the point that you have to have razor blade type barriers to prevent people from jumping the turnstile? Never mind the fact that they'll just crawl under or jump over, but they can't use the turnstile to propel themselves over. I actually saw one bum ass see this, and he went to touch it to see how sharp it was. Like, darn, is it worth getting a little cut on that? But you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? Y'all. All of y'all. The public at large. Y'all let this shit happen. Y'all let this shit get to the point that it's gotten to. Yes, I know. The pandemic itself paved the way for all this to happen. Hold on 1 minute. Where was I? Yeah. I say, y'all, the public at large, allowed this shit to happen. The pandemic, yes, led the way. Because during the pandemic, I'm sorry, I had to get a lozenge. During the pandemic, a lot of things were allowed to let slide. You had the essential worker crisis, i.e., everybody was an essential worker, got on the train for free. To cut down on the amount of contact you had with the bus driver, because the bus driver was totally exposed during COVID, they allowed everybody to get on the back to stay away from the bus driver. Just get on. Don't worry about paying. Just get on. Then once everything started opening up, you cannot put the rabbit back into the hat. Everybody's accustomed to not having to pay. Everybody's accustomed to everything not being enforced. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people who make it easy for you to not feel bad about not paying. But at the end of the day, you're not getting back at that worker. I want to say, but matter of fact, I want to refrain from saying that because it's neither here nor there. Where I'm going to go to now is the relationship between the passenger, the consumer, and the company at large. Not the middleman, i.e. the worker. Y'all get lied to, and y'all want to flex on the worker. Like the worker has anything to do with it. Any of your problems regarding service, regarding price, etc. It's the company at large, not the worker. Just like you're coming from work, you're not coming from your company. You're not coming from your Fortune 500 company. Because if you were, you wouldn't be on a bum ass train. You're coming for your quote unquote 9 to 5, right? That means you're beholden to a boss. Even if you're a supervisor, you're still a worker. Imagine somebody coming in and telling you how to flip those fries, how to flip that burger, how to take the size of my shoe. Size of my foot to make sure I get the right shoe size at Foot Locker. You wouldn't like that shit, would you? But it's not your job. It's not your responsibility. Your responsibility to do your particular job. Everything else is above your pay grade. But everybody want to be fucking Superman. Everybody want to be a boss, right? So y'all feel like it's easier to flex on the worker. Like I said, like they got anything to do with price, service, etc. Case in point, in New York, we're nearing the end of the MetroCard. Yes, the MetroCard era is about to be done. Matter of fact, to me, the MetroCard era is done. They told the public, you have until the end of 2025 to use your MetroCard. At the end of 2025, the MetroCard will no longer be sold. You cannot refill it. And then sometimes in 2026, the beginning of 2026, done completely. Won't even be able to use it. But unfortunately, the powers that be are hastening that transition or pushing that transition along a little faster than what they belied. Did the worker remove that machine? Did the worker take that machine offline? Did the worker make that machine inoperable for you to refill your card? No. The worker is just explaining to you this is what's going on. And this is what's happening. And this is what needs to be done. But instead of you putting all that piss and vinegar, that venom toward the entity at large, you take it out against the lowly worker. The worker that's making his money, him or her money, his or her money, hour by hour, week by week, check by check. Yeah, they said you had until the end of the year, but they took all the machines away and y'all can't refill. You have a right to be mad. Damn, shoot. I'm mad. I'm furious. How dare they? But I'm mad at the right individual. So should you. How about this? Notices are actually up right now talking about the public hearings. That are coming up concerning the fare increase on everything from the base fare, the price of a new Omni card, etc. Will y'all go? Will y'all go to these hearings? Nah. Y'all wait until everything is said and done, and then y'all bring your bum asses either down the stairs, up the stairs to the neighborhood worker and complain to the wrong people. Matter of fact, I think the other terminology would be apropos also. Bitch ass niggas. Because that's some bitch shit. It's easier to get your venom, get your shit off to the actual worker than actually do some work and pick up the phone and make an email or go your bum ass to a fucking hearing and explain. Now, don't get me wrong. 99% of the cases, you going to a hearing is just a formality to fait accompli. But wouldn't you feel more accomplished by talking to the people that's actually enacting and enabling all this shit than the person that's just trying to get home to their family? Do y'all pay attention to the news? Or y'all just pay attention to the news that suits y'all? Honest question, because I ain't gonna lie. sometimes I'm in that category of I just pay attention to the news that I need to pay attention to. Everything else be damned. Sometimes I pay attention to national news. Sometimes I pay attention to international news. Sometimes I just pay attention to sports news and just keep it moving. Sometimes I just want to know, all right, is it going to rain? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to snow? That's all I need to know. Are we in the martial law? Nope. All right, then I can go about my business. I get it. I get it. But for instance, the MTA had long planned to raise fares. The subways, buses, for the subways and buses, the base fare will go up 10 cents to $2 from $2.90 to $3, as expected. This is per New York Post. The board will vote on this full plan this fall, which is coming up. Should they approve it, the changes would go into effect January 4th, 2026. Beginning of the year. Happy New Year, niggas! The MTA also plans to stop selling Metro cards, which are currently the only means of purchasing a 30-day unlimited pass, a 7-day unlimited pass, etc., in favor of the Omni system at this time. Oh, but can you find a Metro card machine? Can you find one that works? I wonder why. The last fare hike came 2 years ago in August 2023 after base fares spent nearly a decade at the same price, which was $2.75. The 2025-2026 fare hike was initially planned to begin this August, but certain elements of the required public process could not be completed at that time. Once again, a fait accompli. Meaning, the shit would have been in place, but they was not able to get the hearings out the way in time. So that means y'all actually have a reprieve. Will y'all use it? No, y'all will not. And y'all wonder why people wonder why certain entities, certain populations, certain neighborhoods get more than others. Because in certain neighborhoods, certain entities actually take advantage of these and hold these people accountable. The same thing when it comes to elections. Hold these people accountable. Don't hold the worker accountable. That's like me going to vote and I'm going to curse out the person in the polling site over a policy that was enacted during this term. They're doing their job. They don't got nothing to do with that. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But yeah, the stuff that I've seen in the last 3 to 4 weeks is disheartening. You pop the door open, 20 motherfuckers go through without any type of shame. No walking shame. 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 None of that. They look at the people. Sometimes somebody about to pay, and they be like, yo, yeah. And then they look at the worker like, fuck you gonna do about it? And people want to know why. People want to know why I am just exasperated. Shoot. I'm already home. Almost. I got 5 and change left to get out this city. Almost like that Jay song. Out to the top. I'm already already. I'm in the hall already. On the wall already. Only thing stopping me is that my home. Matter of fact, the only problem is my home isn't my home anymore. I can't stand New York City, to be honest. I can't stand it. Every time I get out of the city, I get a breath of fresh air, literally and figuratively. And as soon as I come over the Gothams or come through one of the tunnels, I just automatically deflate like, fuck, I'm back. Not like, I'm back. More like, I'm back. I can't stand the city. I can't stand the state. Tell you the truth, a lot of days lately, I can't stand this society, to be honest. I've said it before, and I've said it again, and I'll say it again. Thanos was right. Thanos wasn't the villain in the story. Thanos was the hero. How he went about it, yeah, not optimal. But the premise was correct. I get on the train the other day. I got Mina Kimes looking ass grilling me for a seat that they already beat me to. Okay. But she gets on the seat and she's like, really, Mina? Just continue to preview the NFL and everything will be A-OK. We're square. I got little Papito grilling me because he grabbed a seat. Mother effer ain't tall. Mother effer is not even taller than my waist. He's in the seat. I'm looking at this mother effer like, don't you know you already won? You know you're free, right? You know you grabbing a seat was much easier than swimming the shores of Texas, swimming the shores of Florida. You know you already won, right? I swear. It's almost like he thought he was in his own lowrider. I know I ain't shit, but I swear, he looking at me like I'm Day from next Friday. Yo, ese, chill. No problemo. No problems. Listen, I got Spanish in my family too. Shoot, the real Spanish. I got Puerto Ricans. Do I got Dominican? No, I don't got no Dominicano. I got real Spanish. I'm gonna leave that one alone. The other day, I think one of my last days at my shoe job, I saw a couple coming up from the train tracks adjusting their clothes. Like, really? You mean to tell me you was so hot in the ass that you had to go on the train tracks to fuck? Why? I mean, if it's all about that, would you want some privacy? Wait until it's dark on the alley. Wait until it's dark. Like, there's so many other ways that if you're gonna have that public display of affection, you don't need to go on the train tracks on the outside station behind the woods. That's some real True Blood shit. That's some Suki Stackhouse shit. Oh, ew, disgusting. Disgusting. This is the type of stuff that people gotta pay. People gotta pay attention to. This is the type of stuff that people gotta be around. This this inhumane, barbaric shit. Body More Bottles. Check them out. YouTube. And while you're there, check out the BRP, Black Wrestling Podcast. 8:35 special on Thursday nights. Well, yeah, that's kind of like a 101. Not saying that I'm the only one, but came out one time. And if you missed it, you missed it. This is the WrestleMania 40 special. Hence the green, black, and white, the green, the white, the silver. But yeah, little advertising there. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Less problematic than they would have been a couple days ago, but shoot, listen, I'm yeah, whatever. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Step podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me in this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, I should be live and in color. What the topic is going to be, who knows? I don't know. But one thing I can say, because it premiered right before I started recording, is that Hidden Gems Football. That's right, Hidden Gems Football is back. Previewing, getting y'all ready for the upcoming NFL regular season. Me and the Mojo King released the episode previewing the NFC West. And now that I think of it, and this is something we're going to have to discuss, how come we always start with the NFC? Like 2 years ago when we started these previews, we started with the NFC West and ended with the AFC East. Great, because, greater later. Last year we started with the NFC West, and we never made it to the AFC East. This year we start with the NFC West. Are we going to make it to the AFC East? It's not a rhetorical question I'm asking. No, I'm just kidding. No, but please, check us out. Yeah, we're back on the road again for season number 4 of Hidden Gems Football. The Mojo King and myself previewing each division, and at least for the first 2 divisions so far. If we go back in history of my record from last year, predicting the over-unders, I am a combined 7-1. So I don't know take it for what you want, but if you think I'm to be played with when it comes to this over-under shit, you got another thing coming. So please check us out on the 19 Media Group YouTube page, YouTube channel, and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. While you're on that channel, please check out my bros from Arizona, my bros from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester, and McDowell on Gimmicks Infringement. Dropping each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning, talking about this past week's best things in pop culture, wrestling, and their personal lives, gratitude, things that they've seen, things that they experienced. Someday when you have kids, Tyler. Someday when you have plants, Tyler. Someday when I decide to cut my heel beard, Tyler. No, but please check them out on the YouTube channel of 19 Media Group and all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. Last but not least, please check out the young OG himself from Chicago, Chi-Town, Desmond Powell in Hip to the Games. Yes, Hip to the Games. Hip to the Games dropping each and every other Friday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Yes. I wrote this down randomly. I wrote this down for part of reflection, and I'm going to share it with y'all because this is probably like the only thing I'm really going to share with y'all concerning what's currently happening or what's currently going on in my personal life right now. Yesterday, well, Sunday afternoon, I started my vacation for this week. Right, this is staycation. No real plans. Just to recuperate, do some chores, maybe go here, go there, but no vacation, right? And last week we found out that Daniel Spencer, famous for the character D on What's Happening, passed away at the tender age of 60. Dr. Danielle Spencer, because she was the veterinarian. And due to passing in my family, um, subconsciously, I think that made me want to watch What's Happening. So on YouTube, I just binge watched a whole bunch of random What's Happening episodes, even What's Happening Now, the spinoff that they brought a couple years after the original What's Happening went off. Between that and I was actually watching some clips, some old post game shows of the NFL Today from the 80s, 85, 87, 88. So I was like fully immersed in late 70s and early 80s, which is kind of apropos because I have dealt with a lot of passings in the last, a lot. I mean, a lot of people have, but, last going on 20 years, like once the can was open, it's just like every year something pops out, right? So over the last passing, um, which is like unfathomable to tell you the truth, it really just started making me think about the people I've lost. And I wrote down this is how it describes it. Have you ever seen the Marvel Universe scene, the MCU scene at the very beginning of a Marvel movie? All the characters they flip through like a comic book, like a Rolodex. Or a universe of faces, almost similar to which WWE ripped off. Then, now, forever, with all the different faces of the past, present, future, WWE universe. That's what my mind was feeling like, with all the people in my life that passed, young, old, male, female, family, friends, long lost classmates, etc. People I grew up with, co-workers. Go on and on and on. The multiple connections of them, how they branch off. One memory spawns another, like a proverbial tree. I say all that to say this, because I'm going to wrap this up. Time is short. Time is shorter than you all believe. Take advantage of that time. Listen, nobody's saying you're not allowed to be upset. Nobody's saying that you're not allowed to be in your feelings sometime. Are we supposed to hold grudges as human beings, as people? No, we're not. Are we supposed to judge other people? No, we're not, because we're not. Because there's only one person that could judge. But we are also not perfect. And that's not an excuse, but it's just a fact. What I'm trying to get at is you have to appreciate time. The time that you spend with your loved ones, the time you spend with your friends, family, etc. And make the most of that time. Because once that time is over, there's nothing you can do to get it back. Nothing. Okay. So I say all that to say, please use your time very, very wisely. Because once the sand is out, as much as we would love for everything to be a time machine, you could go back in time, or for you to get in a DeLorean and go back, or for you to think you're White Rose and can rewind time, can't do it. Once it's over, it's over. And you don't want to be held, you don't want to be there with a bunch of regret talking about, damn, I wish. You know what you should wish? Take advantage of the time that you have now. So, with all that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I will speak to y'all next week. And once again, pay attention and treat the time that you have like the most precious thing that you have. Goodbye.